Welcome to the Spotlight segment. This is a segment dedicated to interviews with developers or interesting happenings in the world of Android. And now for this week's episode, here's your Spotlight.
And we turn to our Spotlight section now, and I'm delighted to say that we're joined by Xin Huan, developer of the app Readest. Welcome, Xin. Lovely to have you with us.
Hi, hello everyone. Thanks so much for having me on this. I really appreciate the invitation. My name is Xin, and I'm the developer of Readest. I've been working on reading software for quite a long time. And Readest is actually the second reading app I've built. Today I'm happy to talk about Readest, also about why I built it and why inclusion and accessibility are so important to Readest. Before Readest, the first reading app I worked on was called Reader. Someone we may know about that app. It was about 10 years ago. Reader mostly runs on e-ink devices like Kindle and similar reader hardware. Back then, and honestly, even now, a lot of e-ink devices don't have great accessibility support. It's not in the hardware and not in the system. As a developer, this can feel pretty limiting. You may want to support screen readers or better navigation, but if the platform itself does not support it, there's a real limit to what you can actually do. So over time, I start to realize something. If the platform itself is not inclusive, the app can't really fix the problem.
Now, wait, Shane, so this is really interesting. I think I have that app, and all this time I was calling it K-Reader, right? So it's K-R-E-A-D-E-R. I have that app. I had no clue that that app was coming from you. And as you indicated, it's a little bit problematic. I still have that K-Reader or Critter. And so I'm really surprised. You kind of blew my world away that I've been using your app, or I had your app in my library and never knew that it's coming from the same developer, because I didn't even pay attention as to who it's coming from. So I'm really thankful to have you on here. And as you talked about the history and all of that, I like history stuff. And so why did you decide to build Readest? And first, though, let's talk about the, was there any specialty, something special about the name chosen? In other words, you got Readest, R-E-A-D-E-S-T. So does that mean anything, or is that like an abbreviation, or it's just, as it is, sometimes you run out of title and just call it Readest? What's the story behind that chosen name? And then tell us as to why you decide to focus on that instead of the K-Reader.
Yeah, actually, Readest is a real word in English, but it's only used in early modern English, like 17th century, but it's not used in modern English.
That's why I don't know it.
Yeah.
Ed, being the Duke of Earl, have you any idea about Readest?
It is not. No, it is. I did not know that it was a sort of early modern English word at all. It's not one I'm familiar with.
At the first sight, I thought it was a German word, but actually it's an English word. Yeah.
Wow. So let's talk about the reason why you decided to focus on that instead of the carrier or critter.
Yeah. Reader should have nothing support of accessibility, as it runs on e-ink devices, and there you can't make it speak the button label, or it cannot speak out the text you are reading. So how did you use the app?
Yeah, because when I saw it, I think what drew me to it was the fact that it worked with the Kindle, right? So I was excited about Kindle because the Kindle app that we have on Android, for example, used to work very well, and now it doesn't work as good as it used to. And that was my excitement about the carrier critter. And I'm like, oh gosh, I'm going to be using this because it, says, reads Kindle books and other ink devices. And since I had the Kindle, app, I thought I could just be able to read my Kindle books with it. And so that's how I came about installing that app on my phone.
Actually, the Kindle device actually has limited accessibility support, and the reader, the last reading app I built, also had the limitation, and over time I started to realize that. So that's one of the main reasons I started a Readest project. So with Readest inclusion, or not the afterthought, it was the starting point. I want to build a reading app where accessibility is the first priority, and the user experience feels consistent across different devices and different platforms. Like you can continue reading on your desktop devices, and then on your mobile phones, and even on Kindle devices. This is what I plan to implement. I also want to share a small story that really shaped this project. I'm originally from China. About 2 years ago, I traveled to Germany for the first time. And one day after a long hike, I ended up right in the front of the Potsdam public library. I was a bit tired but curious, so I thought, why not go in and take a look? In China, especially after COVID, going into a public library usually means a lot of steps. You need security checks, ID checks, and sometimes registration, things like that. But in Potsdam, something very different happened. I just walked in, and no one stopped me. No one asked me who I was, and there's no form, no barriers. I still remember what I was thinking. That feels really unbelievable for me, living in China for my life. Yeah. And later on, I noticed that this was not just one library. Almost every library I visited in Germany felt open in the same way. Actually, that experience really stayed with me, and it made me think that real inclusion is very important. It's not just about technology or culture. It's about values.
About humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah, in general. So I see that kind of gave you that inspiration. It sounds to me like you're someone who really likes to read, and hence the reason why you go to these libraries. You're always drawn to the library, and I think that totally makes sense to me, that you would want to give people an access to books, since it seems like you're a lover of books and someone who loves to read. It does make sense then to be able to give people an access, like you said, when you were in Germany, there in Potsdam, and you were walking into the library and you thought that maybe you were going to go through steps of, filling out this form, filling out that, but you are given access without questions. And so to me, that makes sense that you carry that with you. And now you're trying to apply the same method to the e-reading process. And that's where all this inclusion would come in, especially for those of us who have accessibility needs. It makes it very important thus that we have that inclusion. So I am really thankful that you have that inspiration from that trip, and that has been an inspiration that would now change how you build your apps and how you improve what is already on the ground, especially about the one that we're talking about today.
Yeah, exactly. And after that, I thought books and reading should be open to everyone, and it should not matter how much money you have, and where you're from, and what language you speak, or what abilities you have. During that time, that trip in Germany, I started working on Readest. The very first lines of code were written in Berlin State Library. And I wasn't trying to build another fancy app. I just wanted to bring that feeling, the openness I felt in those libraries, into a digital reading experience. And that idea actually became the heart of Readest. And today, Readest is an open reading platform. The idea is pretty simple. You can read anywhere, at any time, on any device with Readest. Your reading progress syncs across devices, so you can read on your phone, then switch to your laptop, and just keep going. And you can choose how you want to read. you can read visually as text, and you can also listen using text to speech. You can even use AI translation to read books written in other languages in your own language. Actually, we estimate more than half of the global population can read almost any book in their native language in Readest. You can translate with our AI services from almost all languages to your native language. I think it's very important for some people, and it's also a kind of accessibility, I think, for people speaking in other languages. Actually, all of this is designed with one goal in mind. That's making reading more inclusive. And there is no paywall blocking core features. And your reading data is saved locally. And you can back up with your reading data with any software and restore them any later. And yeah.
Shane, that is, before you continue,
Mm-hmm.
in my demonstration, I didn't demonstrate the syncing process. So if you could take a little time and tell people or tell us how one goes about syncing that thing to, let's say, signing, creating, how's the process? Because I didn't download the app for, say, the computer. How do I go about help our people know how to go about doing it? Because some of our people would read or would rather want to read on their computer as well. And I think I would also be interested in wanting to read on my computer now and then. For example, let's say I'm lying down in bed and I got my headset plugged into my computer. I want to be able to read my book direct from my computer. So if you could tell us that process, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. Actually, it's a very simple process. It's like the Kindle app, but it's there's also some different aspects. The process is almost identical on any devices that run Readest. In the main menu, when you open the Readest app, on the top right, there's the button, it's the settings menu, and the first button on the very top of the drop-down menu, there is the sign in button. After you sign in with your email address on each of your device, and then the book, any book you import on that device will automatically be synced to other devices. So now we can sync the reading progress, the book file itself, and the annotations you make in that book when you are reading. All this data are synced automatically. So you actually just need to log in, and the rest part is done automatically in Readest.
So in other words, once you have them synced or you have signed into whatever device you want to use, I could browse and upload books. So let's say I have signed into it directly from my computer. I could upload books from my computer to Readest. And of course, then it will show across the devices. Let's say I go back to my phone and that book that I've uploaded will show up in that device, right? Now, is there a Windows app? Because I wasn't paying attention. And if there's a Windows app, how does one get that Windows app?
You can download the app from our GitHub release page or from the readest.com website. Both pages are okay. And the app can upload or update itself when there is new versions, just in-app update. So you don't need to download it again. It will automatically check any new versions and pop up a window for you to update it. Yeah.
I've got one, Sheen, if I could. What file formats does Readest support?
Currently, the EPUB format is supported the best, and we also support PDF format, but PDF format is still in experimental support. You can open the file, you can set the zoom level and the panning in the page in PDF, but you still cannot annotate or text-to-speech on PDFs. But we are working on these features, PDFs. I expect it will be supported in this month or next month. But in EPUB or movie or FB2 formats, the basic reading functions are settled. Yeah.
Great. And sorry, I do have one more actually. You mentioned AI translation. What services do you use for the AI?
We have integrated the DeepL service and the Google Translator, and the Azure translator from Microsoft, and the Yandex translator, and many more services like OpenAI translator will be supported in upcoming updates.
I have a question. First of all, I want to say thank you for coming. It's great to mention accessibility and to be having the will to improve the app's accessibility. But to be honest, there are still some accessibility caveats. There are still issues in the app itself, in the UI, in how it interacts with the screen reader. So for me as a blind user, I'm always searching for the best reading experience, to have like an uninterrupted reading and to have all of the menus accessible to me and all of the functions. Yeah, the app has descriptions for buttons, for stuff, but actually having everything available like this sometimes doesn't help. There are some issues. So if we want to like discuss those issues, are you willing to try to correct them, to just, for example, to help in making the UI more screen reader friendly? I know you did a good job actually. Yesterday, for example, you had an update that fixed the issue of the inability to activate the menus using the screen readers. Also, it wasn't possible to use swiping to move between items. This is now fixed. But actually, to be very honest, and I think others also have tried the app, and they are able also to echo my words here. So there are still issues. So are you really willing to go far with us to just try to make this app one of the most accessible reader apps?
Yeah, sure. And actually, the accessibility support is not perfect yet, but it's really a long-term commitment for us. And I really appreciate the Discord messages from the community. You really help a lot. But you know, some use cases may not be covered in our test process. And although we have a lot of developer contributing to this project, mostly the accessibility support needs a lot of testing in real use cases. Yeah, that actually indeed takes time, but we are actively fixing things and improving them. Yeah.
All right, that's great. Thank you. And actually, I'm not going personally to discuss any of the issues here in the podcast, but if we want to, like, what's the best way to reach you with the accessibility concerns? Is it through email?
Email is okay, and you can also reach me in Discord. You can find the Discord link in our GitHub front page. So you can report the issues we encountered.
That's good. Actually, I have just one more question, which is not related to accessibility. It's related to the voices that the speak feature use, which is the playback of the book. So if the user doesn't want to use the screen reader, and if a sighted user doesn't want to use the site, they can use just the speak feature. What are the voices? I mean, what's the service that you're using, the voice provider? I mean, and is it possible to change if the user wants to change the voice? And does the voice support automatic language switching? For example, if I'm reading something in English and then there's a text in Arabic in the book, can it detect that this is a different language and read through another voice?
Yeah, it can detect the actual language of the text, and we are using the Microsoft TTS service. So for English, there are about 20 different voices for English, and some languages may have less voices. We plan to integrate some other TTS service so users can have larger options. They can select the voices.
Well, great, Shane. As Karen indicated, if one has any questions or would like to make any suggestions, you've got those other means that people will submit those concerns and all of that when it comes to accessibility. And like Karen indicated, the update that you had yesterday has fixed some issues, and there's still some, though, that are still there. And I will do a little recording, like a little video recording, so I could show you where those things are, so that maybe in the next update, you could look into those, because it has really come through. And most importantly to me, the ability to use it without that paywall, because we know everybody now want to be doing a subscription. So this is out of the norm for most of the apps in this class. Most of apps in this class want some sort of a subscription. And I'm glad that you don't. And I thought it was a mistake, because I was looking to see if there was somewhere in the app that says, hey, do you want to upgrade to a pro, or you want to upgrade to whatever? And I just could not. And so I'm glad that you actually mentioned that there's no paywall. And another thing that I was happy about for me as a blind person is that ability to have the background play, because I don't want to keep my device, alive while I'm reading or I'm listening to a book, because I'm not necessarily using my eyes as a blind person. And there's absolutely no reason why I should have my phone running, the screen on and just wasting my battery. So I'd like to have that background play, and whether I'm doing something and have my book in the background reading. So I'm very thankful for that. And I appreciate the fact that you decided, hey, there are not going to be any paywalls here, because as I indicated, others do. Even when they're using regular Google TTS, they want to charge you $30 a year or whatever, X amount every month. And so knowing that you're using this Microsoft Edge TTS voices, and decided not to charge for the service of accessing that, I'm very thankful. And you're going to be our partner for sure. And anytime that there's something new that comes on with the app, we want you to come back and chat with us and all of that. But we do encourage our listeners that if you have any questions for Sheen, you could reach out to Sheen via any of those methods that he's indicated, either through email, or if you're on Discord, you could do that as well. I think probably email may be easier for a lot of people, those that do not have or are not wanting to be participating in the Discord. So at least you have that email to communicate with.
Yeah, thank you.
Sheen, thank you very much indeed for joining us and for answering all our questions. Hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Sheen. Have a great one. And in April, we have a little meeting here. If you have time, I'll let you know. You could come and join us again. We have listeners, and we open it up to listeners, and listeners come in, and there may be something that we didn't ask about, that a listener may have something to ask about. You could come and they could ask you such question, because we have other developers too that would come on. And so we're looking forward to seeing you if you're able to join us in April, and we'll let you know when that comes up. Again, thank you so much for Readest, and looking forward to the improvements, and I'm looking forward to playing it on my Windows.
Thank you. Thank you again.
It was nice meeting you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for being with us. And we will have an email exchange, I think, because there are some issues that should be discussed. Thank you.
Okay, great. So please keep sharing feedback, especially about accessibility, and Readest will keep improving because of conversations like this. And thank you, Warren, and everyone. I'm really grateful to be here. Thank you.
No problem. Sounds good.
Thank you so much, Shin. We appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing you next time.
Yeah, see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.